stakes. LUTI, there's nothing going on. Well, XDiv of LUTI has a tidy prize pool of $500, right, on the line. So they're playing for the lion's share right now. Starburst, Radiance, two incredible teams. Look, they don't even want to wait for us. They just want to get started. We're going straight into it with Clownblitz on Inkwell Art Academy. Both teams incredibly strong. Two separate regions. It's kind of like NA versus EU. Let's see how this goes.
We have been excited for this match literally all season long, and it's finally upon us here. Starburst and Radiance, both of which top their division. Radiance, of course, has cruised their way on into finals, and of course, Starburst coming off of a 5-2 victory last week in semifinals over Railroad Gaming. We'll have to see who comes out on top here. We're starting on Clownblitz Inkwell.
Yeah, Clownblitz Inkwell here. It's a bit of a slow start from both teams. They're just going for the picks. I say a slow start as Starburst pick up 2 here, and they're looking to push in the climb already. A bit of a strong defense from, well, an attempted strong defense from Radiance, but nothing really to sneeze at here. Starburst, I would argue the favorites coming into this one. We don't really have time to talk about it, but they've been on a tear as of recently, and that's a quick push down to 38 as Radiance struggle to hold a defense there.
Have to see if they can hold on to this, but you'll notice the Ink Storm continue to provide a little bit more ink coverage around this barrier area. It looks like Starburst is backed off for now, and I think especially with Biscuit going down, that is likely to be the case long term. Ice also going to back away there, so the hold is going to come true here for Radiance, but they still have a long ways to go to come back in this game.
And it's just a start though. We're only a minute in, so they have time to turn this one around. And Kiva here trying to start that one out with a Tentacle Plus and Inkjet. They do manage to take out 2 there. A good start. Good start for a push. They have Clams on deck and they have the mid control. But to be quite honest, they need the bats. They need the plat. They need they need to push up if they want to capitalize off this. And they haven't done it in time as the rest of Starburst have already spawned back in. And they're already trying to contest on Radiance. And yeah, they're doing it successfully. 2 members down and it's Radiance on the back foot again as Starburst pushes straight back in. Ice does get taken out, but that's mid control for Starburst.
Starburst taking back control of their plat as soon as possible, realizing how critical that area was and realizing exactly what Radiance was looking to push. And now it's a 1v1 on the map. Biscuit's going to come out on top of that one. And that's going to mean everything's going to need to reset for Radiance in order to come back in here. Right now, they don't have a lot. They have no clams to their name right now. The only one is that Pity Clam sitting underneath the barrier for them. But otherwise, they're going to need to charge up all of their specials, get back into mid, start coming these clams. And Starburst so far has been doing a good job of just wearing down that clock.
And as you can see, Starburst have specials on deck. They're popping them all. They want to make another push. They're not even going to sit on their laurels here. They're going straight back in. That's a starting pick for them. 3 alive on Radiance. They've lost one of their main front line, their main ranged players here. As Starburst, again, just pushing in. Kiva does manage to get 1 there, as you see. Actually gets 2, but not for the cost of Obito. That is going to be a small extra push coming out from Starburst, but Radiance does manage to quash it quite fast, and they do have the clams on deck. So if they manage to come out here with quite a strong presence in mid, they may be able to capitalize off of this one.
Starting to get a couple more clams to their name, but they're going to need to find a lot more in order to come back into this one, potentially even make 2 separate pushes in order to come back, because they've got to work through 75 points. That is nearly 4 power clans. As a matter of fact, it might as well just be 4 power clans, but it looks like they might be trying to make a little bit of an aggressive push now as you see that armor come out. Armor in response from Starburst is going to mean that their options are going to be limited here, and now without the ability to move forward, without that plat control that they absolutely needed, they're just going to have to fall back into the mid and look for another opportunity here to try to charge up their specials once more.
It feels like this has just been the story for Radiance right now. This whole game, it's just they make an attempt at a push, they pop the armor, they got the armor popped on them, they lose the initial fight. Not all of them, just one of them, and they immediately back off, and it just becomes Starburst, a frenzy of Starburst taking picks. Unfortunately, though, the armor doesn't come in quite in time, and Jared does take a very crucial pick, taking out the Power Clam holder. Kiva does have the Inkjet, manages to get 1, is looking for another, actually, trying to scare people off the backs to give his team that sort of aggressive positioning that they need. If there's amazing pick there with the BAM, that was beautiful, and I think this is finally we're going to see something coming out from Radiance.
Tentacles coming out here. Here comes 2 power clams approaching the basket. That's 1, that's 2 in. Kiva's going to try to approach a few more clams, but no, it's going to go down to a bomb because Starburst is able to take back control of their plat immediately. And that's exactly what you want to see. On the meanwhile, though, on the backside, that was Obi sneaking in a couple more clams, and they are going to be able to get it down to the 36-point mark. Significant about that 36-point mark, exactly where Starburst was earlier in this set. So we'll have to see if they can pull together another push here pretty quickly, but it is going to mean that they're going to have to turn around this one around very quickly. We are just down to 30 seconds left to go on the game clock.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was a great push, and that should explain to you how crucial bat control is in this map. You need that bat control, because otherwise you're basically just attacked from all angles. That being said, it doesn't really matter, because Starburst just come in with the double power climb. Brown has one more climb to throw in. He's waiting. He's going to stall out. He wants Biscuit to the jump. Yeah, that's going to be it. Brown and Biscuit, incredible coordination there to finish off that game, K-Bot.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's one of the things where it's like, you know, obviously it's much easier to see on the overhead. But we actually saw that from both teams quite a bit, that both teams were able to sneak behind their opponents and come in from behind on Inkblot, which I feel like I haven't seen a ton of out of players on Clan Blitz Inkblot, but we certainly saw a little bit of in that match, and of course eventually seals the deal for Starburst there. And that's one of the things about Starburst overall that I think really speaks, is that they're not afraid to continue going for these offensive engagements, to continue trying to wear the enemy team down. They're not just going to sit back and play the stalling game. They want to be up in their face, and they want to win the fight in order to punish you even harder.
Yeah, well, that's just been what we've been seeing. And I mean, it's not like Radiance haven't been, it's not for a lack of trying on Radiance's have. They've been getting the picks, and they've been getting they've been coordinating their specials perfectly. It just seems to be that every time they try that, they get pushed back and they get delayed a little bit by this counter aggression that Starburst just brings out immediately. And well, when that happens, it's Starburst's game. They just control it. So, I mean, I want to see Radiance adapting to that. I want to see them come out and realize what's happening here, and sort of use they have range, right? They have the range on, if Ice isn't playing Charger and the rest and Brown, Jared, and Biscuit are playing like they're playing now. If they can utilize Hypnos and Obito to the greatest here, I think they quite easily win the range fight. I mean, maybe it was a map thing, because Inkblot does rely on that sort of weird, like, kind of staged plats thing, like a bit like old Moray. But we'll see, we'll see, because we are going to be moving on, not Inkblot anymore, so we can start looking at a different thing now. We're going on to tower control on Anchovy Games, which is a interesting map. Again, I mean, I'll say that about every map, because I think the maps in Splatoon are amazing and quite interesting. But tower control, a completely different game style here. We're going to see the Splashmatic Neo for the Suction Rush coming out for Starburst, and Obito on the H3. So they are going to be abusing their range maybe with the H3 Bamboo on this map.
That's the other interesting thing, though. We saw Kiver play the Nautilus last one. This time he's on his tried and true 10 attack. So we'll have to see if that allows Radiance to play a little bit more faster paced as well. Because I'm wondering, you know, typically when we think of Radiance, we think that they are very slow, very methodical, and try to strike when the opportunity is right. Meanwhile, Starburst is always continuing to rush you down. As you see right now, they're starting to do that, popping all their special and just flying forward. He is going to get one, going to find a second one as well. Going to sacrifice Brett in the process, but it shouldn't be the opening push here for Starburst, as you already see Jared go far down street to punish Hypnos and open up the door even further for Starburst.
Honestly, weirdly enough, I think that the death there for Bran is actually kind of a good thing, because he's going to have all of that extra paint that he can get from behind, and he'll be able to generate up most parts of a... Well, no, actually, he's just jumped in, but he could have generated a section bomb rush, which would have been great for the defense of the tower. They do have the armor popped here, so they're going to be able to make it to that second checkpoint just about. I don't know if they'll be able to push through, because the inkjet is going to come out here, I think. And we're going to see a pretty aggressive defense from Radiant. The armor popped a little bit late for the inkjet, but that's perfect for the aggression of the other two members of the team. As Biscuit's the last one left alive on the plat. Bran already backed out, and the call's been made. Starburst run this one back, but not before getting 2 of the checkpoints already.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the second checkpoint, absolutely critical here, puts Starburst in a very good position as we move forward in this game. But that's the thing, is that they weren't just taking the second checkpoint, they extended far past the second checkpoint in order to secure that location. And then the only thing that could really apply a lot of pressure to that second checkpoint was Kiver's Inkjet. But now it's Radiance's turn to try to respond, as they're going to work past this first checkpoint here pretty soon. And we have to imagine that Starburst is just waiting behind, waiting to strike at the second checkpoint. But as I say that, Biscuit pops this Inkjet, starting to go down on the line. Suction Bomb Launcher comes out as well, and Starburst wants to take no chances, shutting this push down, or at least stalling it out for a little while longer. We'll have to see if they can come back here, but here comes Biscuit, looking in mid, trying to take care of Kiver. Finds the one on the Obito as well. Well done, Biscuit. I mean, this guy's a monster.
That was dirty. That was from one burst. I was just tic-tac done, instantly finished. I mean, honestly, I was going to commend Radiance for the fact that they managed to disengage so fast from Starburst there, as they pop basically every special to try and stop them from getting any further on that push. But Biscuit just absolutely showing up, managing to scare Radiance off and push them back. And I mean, look, this Inkjet just extending on that brand, using that with a conjunction of the armor just to finish off the wipe onto Radiant. And there's no checkpoints except for that last one now. So this is going to be a quick push from Starburst. They're going to get straight into the base. They have to hold close, but honestly, Radiants just need to, they just need to accumulate specials, and I'm not sure how they're going to do that with the amount of paint they can get in their own base.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really close here. As you see, Jared trying to hold off this side as well, trying to make sure that no one's approaching, no one's flanking. That's absolutely critical, this area control, as they start to approach forward. But Starburst looks to be like they're not set up quite as well as they used to be. They don't have a lot of map coverage now back to the tower, and it looks like everyone's fallen back. They're kind of opting to kind of hold where they are right now. They realize that they have this second checkpoint to work with, and just getting the tower to the other side means that they have plenty of time left in this game to work with, to regroup here and try to hold off this 4 special push that we're going to be seeing coming in soon from Radiance.
Well, we'll see how that pops. They do pop the armor a little bit early. I think maybe that's just so they can engineer another one further along the checkpoint line. Not quite getting anything off of it, though, as the armor runs out. And the inkjet does get popped by Biscuit here to put some pressure onto the tower. Don't think he quite gets much with that one either. And Radiance now, they do have the flat control. So, well, I say that as the suction bomb rush comes out. Absolutely hails tower, and that's 2 down on the side of Radiant. So a bit of a scuff push there, unfortunately for them. Well, I say scuffed. It was just a great defense on the side of Starburst, and it's going to be going back to a neutral state, I think.
Yeah, no, that appears to be the case here. And as you mentioned, I mean, really, there's not much you can do if you're Radiance. Looking at that suction bomb rush on that top side, especially with those weapons that you had there, and not even an armor can really save you in a lot of cases. So good positioning, well done, an easy job taken care of by Starburst. But now we see another engagement here as Radiance tries to rush down this tower, tries to get into as possible so that they have more time in the game clock to work with later on down the line, but they're not able to find any picks. And now an ink armor comes out of the Starburst side. Here comes another one for Radiance as they start to progress forward, trying to find this tower, trying to find more picks, but Starburst just continues giving ground, continues backing away, and continues saving their lives for someone like Biscuit to pop out of the ground and take care of the one on the tower. Now pops the sink jet, goes high up in the air, is looking for a few more here, and it is going to be the mitigation for Starburst in mid. 18 seconds left to go, but actually hold up that thought for a second. Biscuit's the last one alive here, just sitting on top of Fan. Now it's going to start to get pressured, and maybe Radiance is going to have something cooking up.
Yeah, Biscuit, although good on Biscuit for staying alive there, he really wants to maintain that pressure there just for a little bit longer, just to let his team come in a little bit more aggressively. That being said, though, Radiance kind of have all the specials on deck right now. They pop the armor, they have a second armor on deck, they've got the inkjet ready, the second armor already comes out. Bran in a horrible position, Kiva with a great pick. That second checkpoint started to work its way down. They're putting the bullets on the tower, the bombs are coming on too, but they do manage to quite get the second checkpoint, only for the cost of 1 life. That's 2 down, it's 2v2. They need to get on the tower, Kiva needs to get on, but he can't get on! That was way too close. Oh no. That's just
so close there.
It was 1 for 1 the whole way through that checkpoint. They were really making the progress, but Kiva kind of got stuck in a rough position and couldn't get on the tower, and Ice just stopping him from getting up. That was
I mean, it was suction bomb after suction bomb after suction bomb thrown on top of that tower for Starburst, always trying to make sure that that tower was not able to be touched by a member of Radiance in it. And it didn't work, right? The only member up there at the very end was Kiver, caught the rest of them off guard. And so that's going to be Starburst taking this quick 2-0. But, you know, these games have been very close, rather competitive as we move on forward. And I'm interested to see, you know, we know that Radiance has a lot of adaptation overall, right? They've been able to play a lot of different styles in their time together as a team. So my question is going to be, what are they going to start to make the changes on now early in this best of 9 to try to suppress Starburst? I mean, what's their win condition here?
I mean, I'm thinking about it, and I can't quite see, like, I can't quite see much outside of what they're playing right now. I know this sounds like kind of bad since they just lost 2 games, but I think that they're playing really well. It's just been a case of I feel like it's mental a lot of this. Like they kind of lost that first engagement on Clown Blitz, and that's just been the case every time. Like with even on that second match, they immediately lost the first engagement. I think Radiance need to like they're incredible players. They need to channel that forward. They have the ability here to just take it back with what they've been running. I mean, they might make an adaptation, like you say, and if they do, that might. I mean, I'm just not smart enough to see it, but. I'll stop stalling. I'll go straight onto it. Splat zones on the roof. Splat zones. You know, everybody likes splat zones. Bridge control incredibly important here. Might be a strong position for Hypnos and Obito after they do get that mid, but we are seeing Ice coming out with the bamboo here. So Hypnos with a little bit more to fight against, a little bit more range to fight against. So maybe not as easy as their job to just bully some tri-sloshes and splash-o-matics this time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, gonna have to see exactly how that one comes together. And that's the thing, is that I'm actually really curious for Hypnos here. I think Hypnos, honestly, has probably been playing about as good as they've ever played. And so, you know, I'm really interested to see if Hypnos can try to pull this one together with Radiance behind them. But for right now, looks like Starburst is going to be able to take control of both zones. It's going to be an early 3-9 situation, and this starts to be the dangerous position here if you're talking about the Reef in general, is when the opponent's able to push you out, able to lock you out, and keep you on top of your spawn block.
Yeah, see, that's pretty tough. And if they get look towards those stairs, if they even have ability to look towards those stairs, it's super dangerous. Obito managing to mitigate a killer that was just off the screen. And look, Radiance just came out and just absolutely stomped at the cost of one player. They left Ice all alone on their own plat. And yeah, Kiva's not quite able to get the control. Does wait for the teammate, manages to get the trade, but I'm not sure how much else he's going to get out of that. Because actually, looking at it now, Radiance have lost quite a few members already. Kiva has to pop the bomb rush to kind of try and defend the bombs here. But with Obito down again, this is not going to be too good of a hold as Bran jumps in and just cleans him up.
Bran just hopping right on forward, able to clean that one up and able to take back both these zones for Starburst. Able to hold on to that for a little bit while, but all the meanwhile, it looks like someone's over there trying to contest this zone right now, trying to make sure that Starburst doesn't have as good of a time so far. Now, Bran realizes here, not quite in position to deal with that high ground, and is going to back on away. Here come the 10 missiles as well out of Radiance as they start to continue moving on forward. We're going to start to see this a little bit more as they're going to continue encroaching. They're almost to a couple more of these critical specials that they are looking for. And you know, the bomb launcher coming out here out of Kiver, and we'll have to see if they can move on forward. But actually, they're playing this one very patient overall. Finally, Obito able to pop this ink armor here. We'll have to see if there's another one that comes out. There it is. And now they're looking for these zones. But again, Starburst being so elusive for the time being, never mind, just as I say that, it's another 2-10 situation. Radiance finally able to take back control here, but they're going to have to start taking care of the rest of the map because Bran is coming up from behind them, is able to clean up 2 before going down himself, and that is going to be critical for Starburst to try to maintain their lead.
Yeah, all that really came out here from Radiance was a bit of a stall in the zone. Kiva couldn't quite get the flank going, and Bran made his own flank out of it. The double armor coming out, I kind of like that. They've used one armor to kind of bait out the Tenta missiles, and then popped another to push in again. And I kind of like that coming out from them. They are still out the zones just a little bit longer, but losing members, it's just a bit of a scarper as the rest of the specials on Starburst do come out and push Radiance back even further. I mean, it was a kind of a scuffed retake from Starburst at first, but that kind of secured the zones for them. As I say that, they do lose control of one of the zones temporarily, but not for naught. I think it was Obito just kind of throwing some bombs onto zones to slow that one down. Yeah, Reef with some famously tiny little zones that can be practically captured by a single bomb.
Here we go again, though. Armor coming out of Radiance as they're going to start to move on forward. But there's just so many members in the way on Starburst on top of this bridge that are just making it so difficult for Radiance to get in. Obi is going to be able to find one, but it's going to get taken down by Bran in the process. And all of a sudden, a lot of these respawns for Radiance right now are a little bit more staggered. They're not going to be able to find an engagement. And with Starburst taking this zone once more, they've got 20 ticks of the timer left before they take the game. Bran moving on forward even more. It's going to be a 1-for-1 here overall. But again, very little that one member of Radiance can do here. And you see Obi trying to go on forward, trying to find a little bit more, is able to find a little bit more, is able to find one onto Jared here, but has to act quickly in order to take back control of these zones. It's going to go down between the 2 zones. And now, again, Radiance still a little bit more, discoordinated here just through those respawn towers. Looks like they're finally able to find the caps and extend the game for a little while longer, but they still have their work cut out for them as we cross the 60-second mark.
Bran was trying to secure that game then with that kill on Hypnos, but Obito is coming out and saying no, and playing incredibly well to basically engineer a retake for Radiance there. Starburst, they are going to pop their specials and try for a retake. They want to shut this one down. They don't want them to get any further on that timer, and that's going to be the case, but they do trade 1-for-1. They're not quite getting the kills they need. Radiance need to come out big here. They need to take out Bran and Ice, I think, if they want to retake these zones at the moment, but it's not quite happening. They lose 2 members yet again. It's just been a stagger. 30 seconds, I think they need to come back, bring this all together, and make one last attempt at a push, because at the moment, they have the timer on their side. They have the penalty on their side. They won't get knocked out. They need to get those specials and make an overtime push, I think, is kind of what they have to do now.
And they're trying to play this double armor thing, right? Where they have one armor early. They're probably going to pop this other one here, and here it comes as well. There's the second one on this push for Radiance to try to come on through, try to take back control of these zones. But right now, the members of Starburst almost saying, hey, go ahead, take the zones. We'll just be able to punish you right on back in a second here. They are going to force overtime. It's a 2-10 situation. And so, but again, a lot of these members of Starburst still alive, trying to get in position now and trying to take care of things. But Kiver's going to find one on Jared. This potentially could be an advantage for Radiance as they move on forward in this next fight, because things are going to happen very quickly here. Starburst has one opportunity to try to take back both these zones right now, and it is really hard to tell if they're going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, they're all kind of stacked up on that left side. One member kind of missing, going for walkabouts. They're going to pop the inkjet armor. That one's just going to come out. Hypnos here has to hide from it, knows it's coming, has the armor itself, but it's traced back and forth. Two go down there for Starburst, and it's not much for Biscuit. He doesn't manage quite to get anything out of it, and Hypnos on a good defense here. They need to keep those zones painted, but it's still not painted. Come on, Hypnos. Okay, he gets it, but members are going down left and right. Radiance, they have an opportunity. Two members down, and it's kicking ever closer.
They got it.
They got it.
With that one on Biscuit, I think Hypnos has got it here. Actually, I have to be careful of Jared on that other side. That's going to be a 2-down situation. That is going to be Radiance with the come-from-behind victory in Game 3, potentially turning the momentum of the set around.
Sheesh, that was a bit close there. I thought they didn't have that. I thought they didn't have it as soon as Jared took that zone, and the Hypnos was struggling with the paint, but I mean, he got the backup, and it worked out for them. Honestly, some hero plays from Obito, some hero plays from Kiva, and some hero plays from every single member of Radiance. But this is exactly what they needed to get back into the game. You know, two really close losses, and they finally bring it back with a close win. This could be the momentum shift.
But that's the thing, is a large part of that last bit of the game started with Kiver calling out Jared, getting that early pick. Because now all of a sudden, it's a 3v4. Now all of a sudden, Starburst has a choice. They either have to try to engage and win a 3v4, or they have to wait for Jared, wait even further. And by that time, potentially you're allowing other members to start opening up picks and start, you know, staggering the respawns of Starburst, so they were never really able to fully engage as a team altogether. It's one of the reasons why you saw Biscuit kind of come in with that inkjet, but couldn't really get a lot done. Didn't have anyone else moving some members around. There was only that inkjet to worry about, right? Hypnos could just sit there in the corner for a while, force Biscuit to try to approach, say, here, come at me. So a lot of good work there done by Radiance to continue snowballing that push at the end out of control, and eventually are going to come up large in that one. But now it's Game 4, Rainmaker on Snapper Canal, and I feel like this one's going to go very quickly with what we've seen so far, especially with Starburst as one of the teams playing.
Yeah, I mean, I might not be an immediate knockout, but I could see a Starburst. Even in that last game, it took a little bit for them to get the initial push, but they did manage to get it. They won every starting engagement, even if it's a little bit staggered. And if we're going on to a map like Snapper on Rainmaker, if they win that starting push, that's an easy 20 points. Like if they just rush that down. So I wouldn't rule that out of your mind. But that being said, Radiance. Yeah, they are going to use. I thought they were going to. They are going to use the CJ. In fact, both teams are going to use the CJ. This is famously a really good Stingray map and a really good CJ map. So we'll see that a little bit extra range coming out from both sides. Kiva also on the Nautilus and the V dualies as well. So we're going to see this V dualies from Starburst. So we're going to see some missile spam. We're going to see some Stingray spam. We're going to see some inkjet spam.
I have to see if that all comes together here for Radiance. But the one thing is that they don't have a lot of weapons that are going to be able to get a burst paint down on the map in order to move this Rainmaker forward. Although meanwhile, on the other side, it could be Starburst with their playstyle so far, looking to try to do the same. But then again, a lot of similar weapons at both sides of the map. Looks like it is going to be Radiance picking up the Rainmaker first. They're actually just going to dash it down to 36. Gray was picking that one up right into the Stingray. It was finally able to get taken down, but at the same time, already down to 36. Radiance starting to set themselves up for success.
Yeah, that's going to be Radiance, Radiance with a good starting push, but Starburst now with the control. Yeah, I think the switches onto these weapons, it's a lot less paint, and it's a lot less control, but it's a lot more of that Stingray spam. So maybe a bit more weighted towards Radiance on that side. Hypnos, famously a very good Stingray spammer. Very, very good at it, in fact. And, well, I mean, he has to be on Radiance. But that being said, Starburst, opportunity still. Hypnos did expend the Ray. Not like he won't have one in another 10 seconds, but did expend the Ray. So they have a window of opportunity here to get picks and try and push this one forward. Armor comes out for Radiance on the defense. Here's the Ray. As you see, he gets that one in about 12 seconds, I think that was. So, you know he's got the speed on that one. Obito does go down, I think, to Prime. In that one, so Starburst again with the opportunity. The Ray only managed to stall them for a little bit. It's a bit of a slow play here on the left side. I mean, it's kind of hard to get up to that top left, but honestly, Starburst struggling at the moment, K-Bot.
Coming in, though, with that ink armor, Brand trying to open up a little bit of a window, but can't seem to find anyone. And now that Rainmaker coming around is going to get taken down here. Just 4 points of a difference between these two teams, but that is going to mean the end of the push here for Starburst. It was a decent play overall, but at the end of the day, they just weren't quite able to get up there and really open up a window of opportunity here. And I think this really goes back to one of the things that you were talking about a bit ago. I feel like Starburst right now is matching a style that Radiance is very comfortable playing, given the fact that they're not, a lot of the weapons in this map want to play a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical. you know, that the Dually Squelchers, that Jet Squelcher are just going to be back charging for Ray and shooting you from afar. So a lot of this, you know, the style matching probably is going to play into Radiance's favor, but of course we'll have to see. They're still halfway more in this game yet to be played. Biscuit going up in the air here, trying to find a couple more, trying to find a little bit of something here, but it looks like Radiance for now comfortable stalling out this Raymik, comfortable buying time off of the clock in order to take care of business. But now Biscuit trying to charge on forward here. Kiver's going to be the last one up in this Inkjet. That's going to be Radiance is completely down. Starburst is opportunity to try to make a push here. It looks like they're darting forward with it.
Honestly, not quite sure about that one from Radiance. They were, like you were saying, playing for a little bit of time, but I don't think that respawns are going to come in time to allow for Starburst to hold this aggressive position. The Ray does come out, so a bit of a clutch Ray. Ice trades it back, to be fair. So they knew it was going to come out. They did manage to trade that one back, and they still might get the pop here, but they've given up their advantageous position. Ice here, and probably making cool to pull back on the rest of Starburst to get the Ray. Biscuit, actually, never mind. You know what? It doesn't really matter when Biscuit's popping Inkjet in spawn. A clutch pickup there from Radiance, but they're losing members left and right, and Starburst, yeah, they're getting close.
They're getting close here. I think this is the lead, and there it is. That's going to be Starburst's lead. They're approaching the podium right now. Biscuit hopping on top, and that is going to be the knockout as Ice is going to slam that one down to the pedestal. Starburst goes up 3. We're able to find the play, able to play the long game, and able to, you know, back off when it matters most to make sure that everyone was collected in that push moving forward.
Honestly, I'm gonna say that's probably one of the slowest knockouts I've ever seen in my life. Like, I genuinely thought they'd given up on the push when Ice ran back. He was like, okay, that's it. I'm just gonna get a Ray. But he pops the Ray and gets the kill, and then the Biscuit pops the Inkjet, and they just forced the issue and managed to clean it up. But it was like, I mean, that was slow as hell. They stopped. They went out to snipe. They came back. They went out to snipe. They came back. Then they decided, oh yeah, you know what? We'll pop the specials and just go all in. And you know, it paid off for them.
Yeah.
The pacing was weird, but it paid off for them. And it was just good team play, I think. Yeah, just good team play from the members of Starburst there to take their third game in this set. So this is a best of 9. So Starburst rapidly approaching game point. If they win this next one, they would be on game point. So Radiance gonna have to pick up a couple more maps here. And as we move on to game 5 on Clan Blitz on Humpback Pump Track, I could go either way if I'm honest. I don't know. Do any of these do Hypnos or Ice have any experience on Exposure? Do we know if they're Explosion mains? Do they need to call in Brian?
No, I don't think they. I would imagine we're just going to see like a Bamboo. I mean, I guess they could play Jet if they really wanted to, but I don't really foresee that happening here with just how spread out the map tends to be. There aren't very many narrow corridors you can shoot that Ray down, right? But yeah. Probably not going to see an Explosion here, but it is going to be interesting. Again, what's Kiver playing here? We've seen Kiver go back and forth between playing the Nautilus, which he's been preparing for quite some time, maybe with this matchup in mind against Biscuit, but at the same time could also be playing something like that Neo Splash, allowing for that bomb launcher, able to get a lot more ink and a lot more of mid control and things like that for the team of Radiance. So, I mean, I think it is going to come down a little bit to weapon fix. We'll have to see what it is as this timer is ticking down. There it is. It's battle time. It is game 5. Where Starburst leads 3-1. A lot of very close games so far. Radiance just still hasn't quite found their groove, really, and hasn't found their answer for a lot of these plays that Starburst is doing. And now Starburst starting to change up the playstyle with a little bit more of those longer pushes.
I love to see it. A 52, Kent's a 52 that has been seeing a little bit more playtime on the occasion in scrims I've seen, but you know, it's still a bit of a niche pick. I mean, you call this 3-1. I think you were saying it. It's a 3-1, but it was close though. So if this was a best of 5 set, I could see them saying that. Starburst with the trademark aggression coming out now. They do manage to take 2 picks in the early raid. Jared already pressuring the flat, trying to put some pressure on the Hypnos, and I mean, it's working as the rest of the team members go down, and Hypnos is too distracted to help out. A good mid control here from Starburst. Obviously, clams a bit of a slower mode. Not gonna have those clams on the board quite yet. As okay, that's a incredibly useful Tenta missiles. I've never seen it from a buff like that, but that Tenta missiles must have hit like 3D because it painted half the map for Radiance. Obito getting control of the mid. The Booyah's on deck. They have 12 clams, so they have enough for a power clam right now, and the Booyah's great at clearing space underneath the basket. So potential opportunity here for Radiance as they have mid control.
Probably looking for that opportunity. It looks like Obi actually going on from behind him. Might be another power clam in the making on that far side. Booyah Bomb throwing it underneath the basket here, but no, the power clam not quite going to be able to make it. It's going to be 3 down for Radiance, and Starburst able to come up with the defensive unscathed.
Yeah, a bit of a botch there from Radiance, but then again, it was a good attempt at a push, and if they got the picks, that would have been a really good push for them. So maybe just replicate that one and get the picks next time, Forehead. But Biscuit with the mid control, Inkjet on deck, just getting good, you know. Ice being pressured, but a good cool here does manage to get the trade back, thanks to a good cool from Ice onto Biscuit, and mid control maintaining for Starburst right now. Specials are coming on deck. Well, Jared, hello. Okay, that's a moment to jump to. Jared getting a little bit stuck on the wall there. Hypnos cleans him up, and Radiance maybe making a push now. That pick is kind of crucial for them. Inkjet does come out from Biscuit to scare them off, but the missiles for Hypnos are on deck. Is going to pop those, manage to get 2. That's a cool out. 2 bump. They know that now. They know there's 2 there. And yeah, as soon as I say it, 2 go down immediately, and Radiance with an opportunity to push.
Stingray coming out is able to find 2. Obi with the Booyah Bomb, trying to clear some things out here. Might be collecting a few more clams, but now is just going to have to stall for a little bit more time. That power clam didn't make it, and unfortunately, again, for Radiance, so many close opportunities, but unfortunately just come up just a hair short, thanks to another, quick thinking from Starburst to get something underneath that basket, whether it's a bomb, whether it's a Stingray, another special, what have you. Able to hold things on and keeping this game very close and very tight, very neutral. And right now, I mean, Starburst potentially has an opportunity, but no, perhaps Bryn overextended just a little bit there or got caught out, goes down now, and all of the sudden Biscuit goes down as well. Starburst doesn't have an opportunity here to make the push either, and so perhaps Radiance has control back of mid, and it keeps going back and forth in this manner. It's going to be really hard to tell who's going to come out on top here. It's really going to be a matter of who wins 2 fights in a row to come out on this map.
Yeah, Jared with some good knowledge there, managing to stave off Radiance for just a little bit longer. Kind of acting like it felt like they were putting up a barrier, like there were 3 people there, but it was only 1, as Jared kind of scared the rest of Radiance off. And Radiance lose 2 members already. So Starburst with an opportunity. They're going to put the first climb in. That's going to be lethal. Oh, it was a nice try on the flank. I didn't even see that coming. A nice try on the flank, but you know what that's done now? That just a little bit late flank has caused this opportunity where Starburst have managed to make a pretty decent push to 44. That being said, they do manage to clear up most of Starburst, but Radiance with just a little bit of mistime there. Nearly had it, but just quite not good enough.
2 power clams in mid. It looks like one was able to be saved for Radiance. Now the other one might despawn here, unfortunately, here. Obi can't quite seem to reach that one as now the Stingray comes out here once more. And there have been so many footballs that Radiance has made, but unfortunately, just one of them has made the basket. They're going to need to make another one here and get it into the basket within the next 60 seconds in order to try to better themselves in the set. But here comes another engagement from Starburst. This is what they're known for, bringing the fight right to their opponents when they're depleted on resources, forcing themselves to go even further back. And as you see, it's a 2-down situation once again for Radiance, and things are looking even more dire than they were just 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, honestly, it's just been good play from Starburst. They've been shutting everything down, coming back and forth, disengaging when they need to, really embodying that save their life type of gameplay. Keep themselves alive so that they can take the fight in a better position. Jared with the ball, they get the pick early on onto the splasher there. Biscuits Inkjet another pick down, and Starburst, they're going to score another climb ball, and Ice again with the follow-up, and that's another. Down to 29, no penalty. Biscuit and Brown, they're going to be throwing in a couple climbs. They don't have too many on deck, but they managed to stall out for just a little bit longer. You see Ice in the background collecting up climbs. I don't think he has enough time to get anything, but there is going to be another pity on the deck as Radiance... Okay, autocam, come on, speed up. Right, thank you. As Radiance take mid back, and they do have the armor on deck. That being said, Splasher goes down. It's gonna need to be some crucial picks from Gray here, and from Gray and Obi.
Okay, but here's the problem: it's 3 footballs and 4 more smaller clams in order to find the basket, and I don't think Radiance has it in them, especially now the 2 go down in mid thanks to that Stingray from Ice. There's only 1 more up in mid, and I don't think they're going to have enough time to get this one in, and that is going to be it. That's going to be Starburst taking yet another one, again, punishing exactly when it matters most, taking those tactical maneuvers, as you said, backing away when it needs to, and they're just playing insanely well today.
Honestly, both teams are. It's just a hype set. Look, but it doesn't matter if it's a 4-1 right now. There's every single game that we've seen could have gone either way at any point. Both teams have been putting their best foot forward, and clutch plays by Biscuit, Brand, Kiva, Obito, like literally every member of either team have made a clutch play throughout this entire thing. So, so far, look, it's that scoreline says a 1-4 to Starburst, but I could see this. This could easily go 5-4. You know, and this is the map to do it on. Funnily enough, this is the map to do it on. Splat zones on Mako Mart. You know, honestly, I could argue one of the best maps in the game. And that might just be me, you know. Oh, Splatoon maps are great, but no, it's definitely one of the best ones. It's super even, right? It has a really cool zone shape, a little bit of a cross in the middle. The stacks on either side of the zone are they facilitate flanks, they facilitate gameplay that you could call ratty, but you could also call smart and clever. And both members of these teams, you know, Obito, you've got Gray, you've got Bran, who's been a flank god this whole time. Like all of these players have nutty flanks. I mean, have had nutty plays, and I want to see them all coming out here on Mako Mart. Like, what a better map to have as a game point decider.
We'll have to see. I mean, you know, this has got to be where you make your hold. If you are
they have
ready.
to.
They have to, right? Otherwise, I mean, it's championship point right now for Starburst. They've got all the pieces of the puzzle together. They just need one more game in the next 4 in order to take away the set. But of course, gonna have to see exactly how this one plays out. As you mentioned, Splat Zones Mako Mart, a map that both these teams should be very comfortable on with how absolutely critical it has been in the past, and it is critical here once more for LUTI Season 11. Obi once again sticking with the Kensa 52. Actually, double Kensa 52? What is this composition? I have never seen this before out of Radiance.
Potentially an attempt at a double booyah on comfortable picks for them. Maybe thinking that they wanted to just play a comfy pick here, so they can have the double booyah on the zone. But definitely an interesting pick. They could also be trying to abuse the range here because unfortunately for the 4K shot on Starburst, they're going to be outranged by every single member on Radiance's team. And so far so good as they get the initial pick, they get the initial zone cap, and it's looking good so far. They're slowly taking down each member. I mean, interesting comp, good start, I guess.
It's holding on here. Bran coming over for the flank from the Radiant side stack. Looks like that one was easily and quickly taken care of here. Now back to the drawing board for Starburst, but now they might have to move here pretty quickly because, again, Radiance with this hold doesn't have a penalty up and now could be down to this next final fight. Bran has this ink armor at the ready, trying to throw burst bombs, and now might be trying to dive on forward here. But you see already Radiance starting to push up a little bit more. Looks like Obi's going to get taken down here, and now Bran's going to try to continue moving on forward, moving on top of these stacks, but it looks like the rest of Starburst is caught up on the other side of this map. The zone's going to cap once again for Radiance here, and Bran's going to try to move on forward, trying to find something, trying to get something done, and now finally Starburst might be in position to try to bait the zone. They're doing everything in their power to get this indigo ink on top of the zone. Here comes another armor from Bran, second in this engagement, and finally the zone gets capped in purple for Starburst. 3 down for Radiance, and finally some breathing room.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, like, finally some breathing room for you mean, because, like, you just spoke like 400 sentences a second. Are you Matt? You channeling your inner Matt? Well, doesn't really matter because it's a good set to channel it on. Starburst finally instant control. The missiles do come out for Radiance, so they're making an effort. The double booyah, I think, does get popped. One does get taken down, but the booyah on the zone not gonna quite get it. As 2 members do go down for Radiance, and it's Starburst's attempt at a comeback. It's looking good for them.
Looking good again. Ice able to find another 2 here as well, stalling things out even more in favor of Starburst. And again, Radiant's going to have to act real quick in order to charge everyone up, in order to get them in. Here comes their armor, and they're only running 1 this time around. Bran being very elusive there. Jared holding down this position, trying to make sure that things aren't getting taken care of, and is able to find Obi with the bomb here. That's going to be Starburst getting dangerously close to the knockout here. Just 3 left to go. Kiver's trying to fake this one with against 52. There's going to be so much yellow ink going up at the Booyah Bomb. That's going to be a 3 down, making a complete wipe on Starburst, and Radiance is going to hold them off at the 1-point mark. Oh boy, that was close.
Double 52, the new meta, because oh my god, what a combination. Everybody focusing on Kiver's wall as Obito gets some crucial picks there to bolster the team. Starburst now with a well, they literally need to breathe on the zone after the the penalty's like 7-4, but they need to breathe on the zone to win. That being said, a good hold so far from Radiance. The missiles come out from Jared to put some pressure on, but the armor to counter that comes out. Booyah Bomb as well onto the left stack to push them back. 2 members do go down for Radiance, so this is looking like it's going to be a Starburst take, but a valiant delay there, a delay attempt from Radiance, and they did manage to damage their penalty just a little bit.
Still got a lot of work cut out to do if you are Radiance. And that said, they've done it before. We watched them do it on the Reef earlier in this set. They've got to do the same exact thing. They want to come back. And again, this really has to be the momentum changer in this set. Once again, championship point that Starburst is working with right here. And here potentially could be the final push and Radiance's final opportunity to try to seal it away as Kiver's throwing that Booyah Bomb over top of these stacks. And now finally Radiance is going to be able to encroach a little bit on top of zone, trying to get a little bit more ink going down. Kiver coming in from this side, might be looking for a little bit more of a flank. Now getting dove on top of by Brand. Going to be able to take out Brand. Biscuit still approaching the stacks. Going to be able to take out Kiver here. And once again, the zone remains purple. Starburst might be going here for the game. And that is going to be the game. Starburst are your LUTI Season 11 Division X champions.
That was, I mean, a valiant effort from Radiance and a very well played from Starburst. Both teams coming out, and you don't expect to see the double 52, let alone do you expect to see the double 52 work for the majority of the game. But it does come out, and that double Booyah does its best. Both teams putting a really good showing on here for LUTI Finals, LUTI X Div Finals. And that's going to be the lion's share of the pool going towards Starburst for this one. But honestly, a great match to watch and a great match to cast. Like, very hype.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, obviously, both these teams came out and came together with their best. But, I mean, at the end of the day, of course, Starburst did look like the cleaner team overall. They looked like the faster team. They looked like the more calculated team as they're moving on forward and moving on around in the zone. And the rest of the maps overall. So hats off, of course, to Starburst. Of course, was able to come in again. And perhaps they were the favorite heading into this in a lot of people's minds, validated again today. But of course, Radiance is looking stronger than ever, is looking hungrier than ever, and is going to be, interesting to see where they go from here, in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I could say the same thing. I mean, Radiance is a legacy team now. They're old. They've been together for a long, long time. You know, just a pickup, they say. But does it really a pickup if you've played for 3 years or something?
It's not a pickup. It's not a pickup.
No. I mean, you never know anyway with these teams. But a great play from both teams coming out. That concludes LUTI X Div. That concludes LUTI as a whole, I think. I'm pretty sure there's only a couple matches left to play in the lower divisions. So if you have participated in LUTI this season, I'm going to go on my spiel now, K-Bot.
Go for it.
But if you have participated in LUTI this season, thank you very much for playing. We will, LUTI staff are very, very happy to see an incredible turnout of over 300 teams this time, which is pretty impressive. A lot of players signing up. And I hope to see most of you back next season. We are going to be running an in-between event at some point in the future, so look out for that one over the summer. It's going to be pushed back probably because of the very question. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna berate Nintendo on a live broadcast a little bit. I'm just gonna say that came out of nowhere and they just ate up most of the tournament real estate for the preceding month. But
there's still Sundays. There's Sundays.
Right,
Sundays do exist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're TOing for the Nintendo event, are you not? Yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. So thank you very much for playing LUTI. Thank you very much for watching LUTI. And we hope to see you again next season or during our in-between events. K-Bot, do you have anything to plug?
I don't really think so. I think that's going to do it from us here today. Thank you all so much for tuning in and for listening. We don't need to do purposeful shout outs. You know where to find the two of us at this point. And if you don't, then I don't know what's going on. But in any event, that will do it from us tonight. Once more, congratulations to Starburst, your Season 11 Division X champions. And excited to see where LUTI goes, of course. If all as fails, we'll see you all back here again for LUTI in another 11 months. Take care, everyone.
And thanks to Will Gaming for the broadcast.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Will for putting this cast together. I was like, yeah, I can probably cast this on my stream. And Will was like, well, I was kind of planning on doing it on the LUTI stream. And I was like, cool, let's do it. So shout out to Will for putting this one together. And looking forward to seeing where LUTI goes from here.
All right.